Hello there guys, and welcome back to another episode. Now in this one, there's lots of just random collection log slots, as well as obviously a surprise towards the end of the video, so make sure you
Collection
stick
log
around for
slots
that.
completed.
Now as you see, nice collection log slot there, Amulet of the Damned Fool. You may be wondering, why am I here doing the Shades of Morton? You know how I love to do bunch of clues all the time? I was trying to do an elite step where you
Collection log
need
slot
the
completed.
split bark legs, I believe it is, or the body, whichever one I don't seem to always get. And you can obviously get that from killing the deranged archaeologist, I believe, in the wilderness. But I went like 100 kc or something dry and gave up and thought, you know what, I'll just try and get some fine cloth, I believe it is, from this minigame.
Collection log slot
And
completed.
it just eluded me. I killed a lot of shades, all varying levels, and thought, you know what, I'll just open a bunch of chests, and it's not that rare, and I'll get it. But as you can see, I managed to get quite a lot of rare things from this. Obviously, the Amulet of the Damned, equivalent of a glory, and
Collection
it's
log
not
slot
that rare.
completed.
But pulling the Bloody Notes, as you just see in the Flame Tar bag, and Silver Locks, it all is fairly rare. But good small collection log slots, and I'll be certain to put those to use and maybe keep going back and keep trying to complete that as an overall. Want to get more collection log slots and just complete it, try and get the Zealot's outfit, things like that. Now, Venom Artists. As you can see, I'm here with a bunch of people that are in the CC. They were just like, yeah, let's go and kill the spider. I think a few of them want to try and go for the Voidwaker stuff. And I managed to pull on like 5kc the Dragon 2H sword. It's not that rare, but it's, you know, it's another collection log slot from all of the wilderness bosses, so it's something I don't have to camp out. And it's just that helpful to have. Now, as well, you've all probably seen, if you've seen from further back towards the beginning of this sort of series, I'm not a massive fan of doing the Jad tasks. I've never been that confident doing them. Did the one, got the fire cape, and stopped. So I always just switch these tasks to kill the Tazar creatures because I want full obsidian from the collection log slot rather than just buying it with Tockle. Unfortunately, on this task, didn't get lucky with any new collection log slots and just got a couple of the Tazar mauls. But these are obviously good because I can just trade them in for more Tockle when I need to buy Onyxes or anything like that. If I wanted to trade them for specific things, that's what I can do. Now, I will try and go back to doing Jad tasks and stuff and try and go for the pet and more capes to gamble and eventually obviously get a spare one to put in for the Infernal. Now that's just going to be when I get full crystal, I think is going to be the sort of thing that's holding me back on that because I just can't be bothered to struggle with it really. And I think when you have full crystal, it's no longer a struggle. So that's just what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to wait for that. Now, you've seen me kill KBD many times. I got a Black Dragon task, I think it was like 13 or something, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to try and go for the privately rented instance combat achievement and kill it 10 times. And as you can see, I was virtually out of food, so I was just trying to do sort of a kind of step under to take a couple of bits of less damage. But I did manage to pull the KBD heads, which is something that I did really, really want. And was always really jealous that Gumption got 2 of them. So now I've got them, and I can obviously make the black Slayer helm if I wanted to, or use it on the, I believe it's the Lance. It's either the Lance or the Dragon Hunter crossbow. Either one to recolor that if I so wished in the future. But it's just a nice thing at the moment to sit in the bank with all my other various Slayer helm recolors until I decide what I'm going to do with them. Now, Kraken, it's a nice reclined Slayer boss for me, considering I've got it green logged. But what I wasn't expecting is obviously to pull another Kraken tentacle, but I do want to kind of go for the enhanced version of it, so I do need another 9 after getting that one to complete that. Now, Chambers of Xeric. This is not something that I've done a huge amount of. You've seen me sort of get the 1kc using people, well, not using, being carried by people from the CC so that I can I could just get the Elite Karen diary done. Now, who you see in here is Porks and USB. Now, these are 2 people from the clan. Porks has a fair amount of XP, or not XP, experience in doing this. And USB is a maxed account that, again, doesn't have very much experience like me. But these 2 had been running some duos, and they said, did I want to join them? And we'll do some 3s, because it's a bit easier to learn in 3s. So that's what I said. I said, okay, yeah, cool. I'd love to give it a go. And that's what we've been doing. My main role has obviously just been helping to run head and just using mage and doing that. And then obviously doing the switches, obviously, depending on the stage that we're at. And obviously then going and help melee hand, learning sort of the specials and going from there. Because again, even though this content is very, very old, it's not something that I've ever done before. So actually having to learn what I need to do is definitely important. And by sort of the 5th, 6th raid we'd done, I believe I was picking it up. Obviously, we were doing fairly similar raids, having things like Tecton, Mystics, Crabs, and a couple of other puzzle rooms. Nothing particularly challenging. Guardians, I think, is the other one. But it was always something that it was like, oh yeah, no, get those down, and then you can always experiment with more if I wanted to solo, or when I went in to do challenge mode or something like that in the future. And then obviously just in the final stage, it's just a case of I had 1/3, the other two had 1/3 each, and we just stayed in those and then just avoided the specials, did the right prayers, and hit own down. It wasn't as I thought it was going to be more difficult in terms of dying more. The first raid we died 3 or 4 times. I'm not going to lie, it was not great. But then by the time we did this one, which is the second one we did together, we went deathless, which, you know, probably not a huge achievement for most people, but it was certainly interesting for me because it was like, wow, you know, suddenly it seems to be clicking in my head. But yeah, it was interesting to do, and we continued getting deathless in 3s for the rest of the time that we were doing raids. I will be heading back to doing these with them or anybody else in the CC that wishes to do them, because it's a good thing that we can all do as a group, considering we're all Iron Men, but it's something we can all do together and not sort of risk nobody getting a drop. Everybody sort of gets something, and it's a nice activity for us all to do. So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy to keep doing Chambers of Xeric, but ultimately if someone says, let's go and do some TOA or something like that, I'm happy to do that as well. TOB may be a bit of a far stretch for me, but yeah, it's certainly interesting to see what I can do just by learning the first raid and then going and doing TOA. But again, it's all depending on what sort of drops I get. If I got a T-bow, for example, then I'd be like, right, well, I'm going to go and move on to do something like Chambers of TOA or maybe some Zora or something like that, because that drop is, you know, the best one out of the whole raid. So yes, the others would be helpful, but yeah, once we've got the best one, it's kind of what do I do now? What should I do now? So yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep running it. I'm going to keep plowing on with these different things, but you know, each different item is a different upgrade for a different activity. So I'm not going to complain ever. Obviously moved over here to using the Bofa, because at first I was using an RCB the first time I sort of ran this. But yeah, I'm going to let some live commentary take over, because as you can see, there is a collection log slot. And to say I was surprised is not saying a lot. So enjoy. God, fucking Dex! That's fucking ridiculous. Thank you very much, boys. I shall take that. Oh wow, that's not bad for my first deathless. Fucking hell.
Deserved, mate. Deserved.
Oh my god, I'm jealous, man. We have to keep going now. We have to keep going until I get one too.
Definitely a lot of enjoyment there after getting that drop. Now, onto some clues, just a few, not many stacked up again. I've not been doing such stuff that's been rewarding me the clue scrolls, but yeah, hoping to correct that and get all of the stash units completed soon enough. Now, nothing amazing, as always, from these hard clues, but another pair of chaps is not bad. Definitely going on the POH, and I might use it one day or not. But for now, that is going to be it for this episode. Until next time.